So it gets changed every year. So guys, please stay updated about all these, and it will give you a fair insight about it. So another question is regarding the Langley or Upton grammar. Which one has got the catchment, and in ranking wise, whether Langley is better or Upton is better? If we were to apply for Henrietta, what consideration to basically keep in mind? So there were a lot of such options. Definitely HBS is the number one in the girls grammar school, and then the ranking between Langley and Upton always keeps on changing. I think based on year 2023, Langley is higher than Upton for the GCSE marks, in some sort of A-level marks as well. But again, as I said, every year this gets changed. Sometime Langley is higher, sometime Upton is higher. So always keep your research and make informed decision, guys. So the next question is from Essex and Redbridge parents. So I think we have got Sanjeev from Redbridge. So if the parents don't know about Sanjeev, he is from the 11 Plus Help Group, which is another charity organization these guys have been running in Redbridge. From I think the Sanjeev and team, they were the first guys who started the mock exam, and they have been helping the 11 plus parents since then. It's been 7-8 years now, so Sanjeev can talk about it. Sanjeev, you there? Can you please raise your hand? I don't see Sanjeev, you here.
Yes,
Okay, I think Sanjeev is not available. Let me take it, guys. I think Asan. Okay, let me, or maybe Vipul.
Yes, I can unmute myself now.
Oh, all right. Okay, sorry. I was just searching based on Sanjeev rather than 11 help group.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjeev.
Okay, so first question seems Westcliff Girls, Southend, and Colchester. Which one is better in all aspects, and what order I have to put these schools? So now it depends upon also your circumstances of where do you live. How will you prefer to commute to these schools? But otherwise, in ranking order, Colchester Girls is definitely better, and then Westcliff, and then Southend. But if someone is living in the Redbridge area, then you need to consider traveling time also. To Colchester is much higher, compared to Southend or Westcliff. It will be too much for your child. If you want to, there are some coach services running from East London area to Colchester, but that will be too much. So depends upon that, you can decide which school you want to put. But definitely in the order wise, in ranking, Colchester Girls first, then Westcliff, and then Southern Girls. Second question, do we need any supplement form for address proof with CAF? For CSSE schools, no supplement SIF needs to be filled, because you have already done that during that application when you register for the CSSE exams. So there is no need to fill any extra SIF form for that, CSSE schools. How to decide which should be the order of putting the schools? That again, if you just consider the ranking based on the GCSE results and other things, Colchester Girls is definitely better. And in the boys, even Kegs, Chelmsford is top ranking schools, always I think in top 10 in the UK. So that should be the first choice. If you have like qualified, you've got enough mark for that. Similarly for and then Colchester, and then Westcliff, and then Southend. For girls as well, same way. I guess CCHS you can put in the first order, because academic wise and as well in all other aspects, CCHS is I think it is better. Colchester Girls are also almost same level, but again you need to decide on that your commute time on that one. and then Westcliff, and then Southend. Someone is asking about that Ofsted report. That is the old one. If you see their website for this year is report is good. That was that last inspection done on 7th to 9th March 2023. It is saying all good. So that is not a concern. And again, apart from CAF, do we also need to fill SIF form for kegs? No, because you have already filled that form for kegs while submitting the application for the examination, registering for that one. So you don't need to fill any extra SIF form for that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ranjit sir. Guys, all the questions which we are seeing in the chat, we will take them in the end. But let's quickly go through the existing slides. Probably it might already address your question. So the next question is again for Bucks and Slough. I think Ashan, if you are there, then can you take it, because I think you are more informed than me related to this. Let me unmute you. Yeah.
Yeah, so in Slough, mainly there is and categorically, few the school hierarchy is on the top always comes this Upton Court Grammar School, then Langley, then one Catholic church, and then Herschel Grammar School. And for these schools, they come under Slough Consortium. This year they changed the bit pattern of exam, so they took GL variants and not the CEM, and their criterias and also the merit. It changed a little bit. Like few score like 111 is Herschel, 116 and above is Upton Court Grammar School. These schools they work on different criterias, like on a distance calculation and all other factors for the selection of the students. But what main thing is about these schools and their rating and their weightage on GCSE exams. It's totally relying about the parenting, how the parents they take care of about this kids' education, not only after 11 plus and getting into grammar school, but after grammar school is the main challenge, because 11 plus exam is quite at a young age, and most of the kids, when they practice and they go quite relaxed, and that attitude the people they faces and the results they come up is only when the parents they are consistent and they keep track of their education, then the results are brighter. So outperforming schools are from the Slough, but also this when we are talking about Slough, there are two parts.
Hassan, we lost you, I think. Oops, sorry. I think, Hassan, if you are there, we can't hear you. I think we lost Hassan. So the question was more related to the Bucks. Her daughter basically scored 139 in Bucks, and she is actually living outside of Bucks. So this is the cutoff according to the distance for each and individual Bucks grammar school. So it might help you to find out whether different grammar school is according to your.
They are similar across across the country. I think all the grammar schools they follow the same.
Yeah.
And I went through the appeal process for my son. Streets away where I'm living at the moment, and relying on appeal process, it will be a big mistake. So early preparation is more important, because and in many.
Hassan, you are breaking up, I think. I think you're again gone. But guys, let me take it further. So based on the 123 mark, as I mentioned here, she can get Upton Park because there are few distance based seats, but the last year mile which were allocated was 2.9 approx. But please keep checking uh, the admission policies, and the top one was for the Bucks one. You can take the snapshot, or maybe we can share this data with you in the end, so it might help you if you are from the Bucks or Slough counties. So the next question is again from Kent. So that was for Gravesend, Wilmington, and what is the date to move into Kent? So that is this question is being asked from a lot of parents who are targeting Kent schools. That what is the last date? What is typically the cutoff scores? So that is something which Kent Council actually doesn't publish, to be honest. The only thing it publish is like the specific date that should be early December, 8th of December, when you can move into the Kent and you will be eligible for the IC. If you are targeting IC, if you have already got enough mark, which are good for OOC, let's say, for example, Dartford boys school, right? So last year, I think ranking the cutoff mark went to 393 in the end. But because of the exam pattern and seeing high number of candidates, scoring more than 400, it looks like it will again go back to the similar 400 to 403 marking, which used to be the historic data. So again, do all these kind of like checks, and then take the correct or informed actions. So if some of the parents who are near 400 marks or above, let's say 395, and they are targeting Dartford or any other good Kent school, then I think move, and they can move, then go into the catchment area, and that will basically give you more flexibility, more chances to have the seats in your preferred school. So cutoff score for Gravesend, as mentioned, there is no cutoff score. It's mostly based on the distance, and the last distance offered was 3.549 mile in 2023, and it is not oversubscribed school. So when the school is not oversubscribed, so that means that it will allow or pick up the kids based on the cutoff, which is actually published by the council. So let's say if 121 is the cutoff published by school or the council, then it's not oversubscribed. So every kid which is basically scoring more than 121 or 121, or he will be offered the place. But the distance is the key criteria. There are a few facts here, I think, which we already have covered. So as all of you know that the total score for 2024 admission was 332, and it was because out of the total was 423. And again, there was another criteria, like in each subject, it must not be lower than 108 to be basically eligible for a grammar school in Kent. So there were a couple of parents who were asking, our kid has got very good marks, but in one of the subject, let's say for English, he has got only 102 or 105. So as per the policy, they are not eligible for the place. And I've seen in some cases, the appeals also got rejected by the schools straight away. So hopefully it might help. Regarding the Wilmington boys, again, they have got a very strict 1.5 mile priority circle and plus some defined parishes. So please go and check the admission policy for Wilmington, because they are oversubscribed. So deciding factor is definitely the distance. So it might help you guys. The next question is from Hertfordshire. So the question was related to the St. Clement's Danes. So the parent asked her daughter did the music score of 38 outside catchment, whether it is a good score or not. I don't know who is squiggling on the screen, guys. Please stop. So we already know that in St. Clement's we have got 24 outside spaces available for musical aptitude, and then based on the historical data, the lowest performed assessment score, if you consider, was 38. So I think you might miss the place this year as well, because 44 was the lowest score allocated to the last year kids, and they got entry into St. Clement. The next one is, okay, this is the general question. Probably, I think, Vikas, do you want to take it, please?
Yeah, I can give it a try. So, which schools should drive outside catchment area? I think it's generally a difficult choice, right? So, uh, but it's not like until you can still get into the school even if they are outside the catchment area, depending on how your child has performed. So, but before you go, right, consider the things when you consider schools outside, right? School's performance, the Ofsted rating, the distance. We talked about all of this in different places, but it doesn't mean your kid cannot get, uh, even if they are in outside the catchment. Like my daughter was when she applied for Chelmsford Girls, and she applied Henrietta Barnett. She yeah, she managed to score very well in Chelmsford as well, and even though we were outside the catchment, we did manage to get placed there. But we put HPS on top, so we that was our first choice. So it's understanding the specific admission criteria is very important. Look at historically where the ranking has gone, how many students they have selected got out from the outside catchment area, and that will help you decide what ranking did your are you get the exams, and based on the historical data, generally what rank the student outside the catchment able to get the admissions. So, and again, going to the school, asking the school about this information can also help. They can give you an idea, like what are the chances, how far the catchment has gone the previous years. Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Vikas. Oh my God, some kid has, I think, squiggly on the screen. Uh, Sorry, I think I moved. Okay, so that was the last slide I think Vikas was covering. So the next slide is again from the Kant parent. So the parent is asking, my Kant score is 384 outside catchment. Which schools can I apply for? St. Olave's, Dartford, Jute. So definitely St. Olave's, as Pooja mentioned, this is a super selective school, doesn't have any catchment area, so you can straight away apply for that. Dartford and Jute has got some local county specific catchment rules which you need to follow. There are 90 seats for, I think, Dartford. So all these schools, so this was the last year data, guys, and I think it might help you. But again, please validate this data, because this was collected from the parents based on the discussions from different forums. So there might be some possibility of the error. So we basically, what we said for the last year, Jude, let's say, for example, inside catchment was 376, outside catchment for 406. Dartford boys, I see 379, OOC 392, but historically, again, as discussed, it always used to be 400 plus. Dartford girls, again, inside catchment 383. So what it will give you some fair idea about the different super selective, which are like oversubscribed schools versus the normal schools where there is no oversubscription. So if you have got less marks, let's say less than 350, then you can basically look at this and also check with the school to see whether the kid can get into this. So it will just give you a fair idea about that. So based on this, you can then use the guesstimate techniques and find out whether this school can be allocated, like the kid can get the seat there or not. Uh, the question again, which area of Kant will be good for exact passing marks? For example, 333, 334, 335. So all these schools which are not oversubscribed, we have mentioned IC 323 or different criteria. So that might help you guys. but again, please do your research. So this was our research based on the data provided by parents in past, so it might help you. Okay, regarding St. Olave's, I think Pooja want to say something, so let me, yeah.
Yes, we'd like to correct you here. St. Olave's has a different selection process. It is not a part of Kent. I mean, it is located in Kent, but the Kent selection process is not valid for St. Olave's. St. Olave's has two-phased selection process. Phase 1 happens in September. Phase 2 happens somewhere in November. And your end result would be decided based on sum of both phase 1 and phase 2 marks. So the
Yeah.
Kent score is not valid for St. Olave's.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I stand corrected. Thank you, Pooja. Because I was just focusing on the Kent schools. So this list is actually only talking about the Kent schools, guys. St. Olave is not included in this list. And as Pooja mentioned, St. Olave has got its own exam like QE, HBS. So there are a couple of super selective schools which take their whole exam. They are not part of any county specific exams. And they do it and they basically assess the kids and allocate the seats according to their performance. So it might help you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Pooja. So next one is for the Baxley. So the parent asked about the ranking of Baxley schools along with the cutoff with in and outside catchment. So I think let me see if we have someone from Baxley. Someone Koshik. No. Okay. So let me cover this, guys. So Baxley Grammar School, as you know, has got the cutoff for 216 for last year, and OOC they provide top 180 seats for the OOC candidates, but the minimum cutoff was for this year was 252. So if your kid is in top 180, then you can apply for Baxley schools, and any schools which you have put in the CAF as a preferred school and in that 180 list, then your kid is guaranteed the place there. For inside catchment, again, 216 plus the distance is the factor which is considered by Baxley Council again. Even based on the distance to the school. And then there were some special conditions related to the sibling. 2023, so that might help you. There is some data about, again, how the places were allocated on 1st of March 2022. So as you can see, the first miles is based on 2023. Sit cup is better, but again, these were the do we have Vinod or Vinod Sapient or maybe Vineet? Can you hear me, guys, now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Saurabh.
Thank you. Vinny sir, it's your turn. You need to take that certain one. Let me share my screen again. Sorry about this. So yeah, some parents asked the question for certain Vineet that the daughter got 317 and they live outside catchment, and she's asking whether the non-such is actually a preference for her or whether she can get it or not.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, I wouldn't be the best person to answer that question, given the fact that my experience is more on the ethics side. But having said that, I mean, it would all depends on how the kids have performed on a given year during the exams and what the standardized score allocations are lying. So if we look at the allocations results, which is shared on the screen, um, I think, I mean, on the national first, the national offer day, I mean, chances would be pretty tight, but you could, given the way the scores are going up and down, I mean, by September, you could have a fair chance of getting in if you're living outside.
Yeah. So this was the last year data, which might help you guys for the non-search allocations. So as you can see that the difference between the 1st March National Day offer versus the 2nd offer in September is quite a lot, right? For inside as well as the outside catchment.
The other thing to keep in mind is for both Sutton and Wallington Girls' School,
That depends.
who maintain the waiting list, so they would be keeping in touch with you during the process, and they do maintain the list over the years. So it's not like, I mean, if you don't get in the first year, you would be you would have to go in or follow them. They keep this list and they maintain and get in touch with you every year when they what they do is every year they would, after December of the school year, from January onwards, if there's any place which becomes available, the school holds additional exams, and that would be the process by which you could get a place in non-search and Wallington.
So the process which we need talked about is, guys, it is 12 plus. We talked about a lot in the past as well with a couple of parents. So 12 plus, if there are seats available and you want to get your kid entered into year 8, then 12 plus is the exam. Most of the schools like Tiffin, non-search, Wellington, everybody does it because there are some dropouts in the end of year 7 or middle of year 7 when the waiting list is already updated and they
Gaurav, just a small correction. It's not just purely year 8 onwards.
are looking
Non-search, non-search and Wallington do it for year 7 as well, because they do up to December of the school year. I mean, they do maintain the waiting list based on your score, but after that, I mean, each school has its own criteria on how it would want to deal with in your applications.
Yeah. Thank you, Vinisa. So the question was again related to Wilson. Again, you won't know unless by your national offer day whether you have got the Wilson seat or not. If your kid is in top 180 as or whatever seats we have got in Wilson, then definitely there is a chance you will get it. But I've seen a pattern that if your kid is in top 180 and let's say you the other school because they always try to prove that they have better facilities, they have better academics compared to other schools. Even same was happened with us as well when my son was giving Wilson, and he got the offer from Wilson and QE both, but we opted QE, and Wilson basically sent us a lot of the letters asking us to join there. So that answer maybe the Dartford So can she use the tenant documents of husband in applying the Dartford Grammar School? So any parent want to take it? Any experienced parent here? Please raise the hands. Okay, let me address it. I think my internet connection is a little bit unstable, but hope you guys. The council normally see where your kid is actually studying, and based on that, the documents they will be asking about the kid as well. So they might reject your husband's documents who is living near the Dartford catchment ranks work, how to assess which schools to try if outside catchment. Himanshu, do you want to take this question, please? Let me unmute.
Hello, sorry, Gaurav, what was the question?
Or maybe, yeah.
Hello,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, yes.
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat the question?
So the question is, how does priority area and outside catchment rank works? How to assess which school?
Hello.
It is the second question in the list, Himanshu.
Okay.
So it's asking about more how the catchment.
Yeah. Sorry, your voice is breaking. Maybe it's my internet connection. Yeah, if you can hear me. So I think there are a couple of schools, right, where you can apply. Hello,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah, Himanshu, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah. I'm not sure whose line is unstable, but
I think it's
if you
correct.
can hear me, I'll just keep going. Yeah. So okay, so depending on whether you are in the catchment or not, right? So I mean, like I can talk about, for example, my experience. I'm in like North London, and from there we could apply to a couple of schools. So we applied for non-such. Non-such has um, a portion of seats which is for outside catchment, so you can apply for non-such or like the girls' schools over there. And then same goes for the boys' school, including Wilson and the other two boys' schools as well. So every pocket, I think, like east, west, north, south of the all of the pockets have schools where you could apply outside catchment. So I had friends or colleagues from my work moving from Glasgow to for QE. So they relocated and they could apply. They were not in the catchment, of course. So there are schools in each of these locations, and you can apply there. And even like if you get that, if you have got that school and you're like well beyond a cutoff mark. So for example, QE generally the cutoff marks is around 234, 235, and if you know that you have got like a 250, 260 kind of a score, then you'll definitely get in. So people do move before March as well, before even the results come out, because they for sure know that they have put that school as a first choice and they will get it. Yeah, so there are like this is more of like a option if you have applied for a outside catchment school and you've got a score which will make sure that you will get it, and then you can also decide to move in. A lot of parents talked about like living close to the school, so that's pretty important. Irrespective of which school you get, you have to live close to the school. Otherwise, like the life of the kids are it's not fair for the kids, right? So it's like they have after school clubs, and if they are traveling too much, then they can also they can get tired. In these schools there are a lot of they do say it's not more than 15-20 minutes of homework, but it does gets a bit extensive in that aspect, right? So if they are like say my daughter learns like 4 languages, and it's pretty difficult to like learn all four properly if you're not spending time. So it does takes time um, to get involved in the school activities, and then there are these after school clubs, and our daughter has a lot of inclination towards music, so she does a lot of music activities also after school. So all these things do matter. You have to live near to the school. The sooner somebody tells you, the sooner you realize that's better for you, right? So when you're applying for these out of catchment schools, you can apply, but then if you get it, you have to move closer to it. Yeah. So that's what I would say here. Does that helps, Gaurav?
Gaurav, you're on mute.
So yeah, a couple of schools which you could apply, like Q is here, Henrietta Burnett is here, Latimer you could apply, but then
Yeah.
Latimer you have to move by January. So you get the results, and if you're like in top 600, you have to move in that catchment
So,
area, and generally the list goes on till like 500. So it's pretty almost certain if you get your results for Latimer. Similar thing goes for like St. Olives in southeast, and then in Essex we have other schools like Colchester. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry.
so I think the guys what important here is to assess like whether you want to be outside catchment or not. So as Himanshu just said, some school wants you to be in the catchment for like during the year or at the time of CAF application. And there are certain points you have to read the school documentation to understand what are the catchment criterias. Other schools do not have such criterias. They do have catchments like HBS, but their catchment is more like they prefer the student from inside catchment, but then they go outside, but they don't care whether you are living inside the catchment or outside at certain point of time. Obviously, if you're inside the catchment, it increase your chances. So when you're applying for schools outside the catchment, look at all the options, whether you want to relocate, are you open to relocate, uh, what time you should relocate, and also would it be better you can stay in where you are and apply to different schools where the outside catchment areas are a bit relaxed, or if you think your child can really do well, then you can still be outside the catchment and can get
Question.
selected.
But yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I think what I was thinking, because now I think we should give the chance to parents now to ask their questions and whether we can basically address them. I think it will be quite helpful with the parents. So please start raising your points. So I think Uday has asked a question, raised the hand. So Uday, let me ask, make it. I'm just trying to unmute you. Admin team, can you do it from your side, please? Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Uday.
Yeah, actually, I say one question. We live in Buckinghamshire, and unfortunately, my son got scored 120.25. Of course, technically, it's rounded to 120. So, as you are aware, like 121 is the cutoff. So, we are going to put request for selection review committee. So, what are the chances to get succeed in the selection review? Because just he is away from, from the eligibility score, what he got is just 0.75 marks. Okay. And we are going to put head teacher comments from the last 3 years, like year 3, year 4, and year 5. Yes. So do we need to, what kind of documents helpful to make it a strong application for selection review committee?
Binod, you there? Do you want to take it? Anybody else? I think let me address that. works to be very because they are heavily oversubscribed all the time. Uh, I think the documents which you are talking about is again related to more appeal process documents. So just go through each and individual to the mentioned the last 3 years head teacher document like appraisal letters or anything like that will definitely be very good. But other than that, what about like other supporting documents, maybe from the uh, like exams based on, let's say, local school exams or anything like that, which can just say whether that your kid is academically perfect and he is eligible for the school's seat. So that is something which you need to prove, other than the documents which you normally need to provide as a inside catchment guy. I think what else? I don't remember anything else, to be honest. Anything else we can include other than the appeal documents, to be honest. But again, Uday, you can email me, or it is good. So we can jump to the next parent, Anita, admin team.
Hey, hi.
Hi, Anita.
Yeah, I'm her husband. Our son has scored 338 in Kent exam. We are living in Harrow, and considering the marks is like at the bottom of the table, and we can't simply apply out of catchment. And even if we go to towards the catchment, like when we go to the individual school, not the super selective, but the selective schools, let's say Maestro, they are saying they are taking only 360 plus only. So such a criteria are there. And for others, let's say Gravincent, they does take only within the catchment, but if there are their application is full, if seats are full, then they are considering the numbers as well within the catchment itself. So they will prioritize the top numbers only. So we are worried, should we go there or not? And also the other schools which we have
Need
looked
to.
for.
Yeah, Anita. Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, and other schools which we have looked for are have Ofsted good rating only, and they also their attainment score is not as good. Where in Harrow we have state schools which have like attainment rate score is higher, and also they're outstanding within catchment. So we are confused. Should we? Is it worth moving over there and apply to such schools, or because they are selective, or state schools are fine? Yeah, that's the question. Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. Anyone?
Yeah, I can give it a shot.
Okay.
It's I think a state school are good, right? I think it comes so much down to, what you think is right for your child and which school works better. In my opinion, state school are very good as well. If don't be disheartened if if your kid is not getting the right marks and not able to go into a grammar school. At the end of the day, I have my neighbors whose kids, they actually pulled out their kids from the grammar school because the kid was doing really well in the primary school, uh, top in the primary school. She went into the grammar school and she struggled in the grammar because it's a selective school, very selective school, and she just find herself in a real mix and couldn't cope up with the pulled her out, took her back to the state school, and she's really doing very well. So I think it's not so much choice about which school is uh, better in terms of state and grammar. It's what works for your kid. where they get, they'll be flourished and get the right opportunities to succeed. In terms of the scores and ranking, I'm no expert in that. I think you should look at the history in terms of the waiting list. You can still put other schools. When you put your CAF applications, you can put grammar school as well as a state school in the choice. As all schools are ranked equally, you can either of them. So if you think there is a good chance, even outside the catchment, your kid can get in the grammar school through the waiting list or by any historical data, I would still put the school in the CAF on the top, and then somewhere in third or fourth option, I can still have the state school as a choice, so that my child will still get a school at the end of the day.
Can I add a couple of things to that, if possible?
Yeah, sure, good.
Yeah. So just one little thing I want to point out. Grammar schools are state schools. Okay. So I think the distinction that you mean is between a grammar and a comprehensive school. Yeah. It's just a little point in case it was confusing parents. So grammar schools are state schools unless they are specifically private schools. Some private schools have the name grammar in them. But in terms of the initial question, the question that the gentleman asked, so I have two children, girl and a boy. We've only got 2 grammar schools in my catchment. I was in catchment for Slough, but it's so far away that I wouldn't have considered it. I also have a local, literally 5 minutes up the road, outstanding comprehensive school. Now, my daughter, again, it comes down to you and your child. So my daughter, smart kid, was very easily distracted. And I knew she would have been distracted by boys. So our local school is a mixed school. The grammar school was single sex. And I knew that the environment in the grammar school would suit her better because all those kids were selected. And even if she was bottom of the grammar school, we didn't mind. And I made sure that she knew that she was actually at the bottom of the cream that was on the top of the milk. So it didn't matter if she struggled in the grammar school. As it happened, she didn't struggle. She middled the whole time. Now, I wouldn't have had any issue sending my son to the local comprehensive school because he's not distracted. However, he did pass for Reading School, so he went there. What you get in a grammar school is selective children that have been selected. So you're going to get usually get like-minded parents. In a comprehensive school, the children are not selected. So you get a trawler net of children. So in a comprehensive school, you might get children in the top 2 sets that are very focused. Whereas when you start to drop down the sets, you might get less focused children. And I'm always saying might here because I don't want to bunch everybody in the same place. So what I'm saying is in grammar schools, even if your child was in set 3 in maths, they're still going to be all the same kind of children. And what brought it home to me was in year 7, my son, there was only 3 sets in Reading School, and my son was in set 2, which was fine by me. But I think the teacher was thinking I was saying, oh, why is my son in set 2? And I said, no, it's cool. She said, but listen, it doesn't matter what set he's in, because at Reading, we expect or we hope that all children will get a 9. You will not have that from a comprehensive school because they can't do it. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps you make a decision. And ultimately, it's your decision. But that's my experience of choosing a school 5 minutes up the road, which is outstanding, or my kids getting a train to Reading. And although Reading's only 10 minutes on the train, their round trip was an hour, door to door. So, and they both cope with that perfectly. So I hope that helps.
Those were brilliant comments, Sheena. I think that will help you parents a lot because this is the experience which is being shared by most of the experienced parents who went through this journey, and I think it will help you a lot. Next question from NC Dennis. Let me unmute you. You can ask, NC.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. All right, sir. You can.
Thank you very much. So we are living out of the catchment area of Newstead Wood Grammar School, and our daughter got a high score in the exam, which is almost a guaranteed seat. So we are planning to move into the catchment area of that school, actually. But what I would like to ask is, when exactly we need to complete our move? Is it end of October, or is it, as the council tells, 8th of December? What is the difference between these two dates?
I think we lost Pooja here. I think she was the best person to answer this question, but let me take it, NC. So as far as I remember, and NWS basically gives you the flexibility until 8th of December. But the catch there is that you need to keep updated the council about your move. And until 8th of December, it is perfectly all right. If you move, the seat will be allocated to your kid. So that's how we have seen it in the past. And that's what the NWS website also says, right? But if you are late after 8th of December, then your application will be considered as late application and you will be put on the waiting list. So you need to be very careful about that date.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you. Next is Srini.
Hi, Al. I just got a couple of questions. So my daughter has got 387 in Kent State. So I want to know, and we are in Reading area, so we are out of catchment. So I want to know what all grammar schools we can apply for her being out of catchment, or what all grammar schools can we apply if we decided to move. They want to know in terms of what are preferred grammar schools, Tunbridge or Tunbridge Wells and Deptford or Deptford in Glecta, and what all the grammar schools we can get if we move in or if we don't move in.
That's a very good question, Srini. I think you missed that particular slide, which we were sharing about for the Kent schools. So let me send it to you. Hope it might help you. I think based on 387, you can apply for most of the schools. But again, if you want to be 100% sure, then IC is the best criteria. If you want to, let's say, target Dartford girl, then if you are in IC, then definitely you would get it. The same is for other ones as well, like Tonbridge or and Invicta is also good, but again, it's selective, not super selective. So there are only 4 or 5 schools which are super selective. They are always in very high demand for Kent school. So can you probably you have already registered for this? So we will share the FAQs section with each parent. So that might help all the parents, I think, there. Hope we will be able to answer you, Srini. I think we need to take every parent, sorry. The next in list is Priyanka. Can you take it?
Yeah, hi.
Thank
So there were some HBS parents in the group. So I just wanted to confirm if HBS has computer science as a subject, which I don't see on their website. So if they can.
Vikas, Himanshu.
Yeah, see, when my daughter finished, I think they have design and technology as a subject. I don't remember having a computer science as a specific subject. Himanshu, do you know if it's there now?
I think, yeah.
Hey,
Himanshu?
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think what you have heard is more or less correct. Why I say more or less is because in HBS and they've started also doing it in QE, where they are getting away from the computer science subject. So that's more like a move. And this is just like my personal opinion, right? So, which I am noticing. So QE definitely is getting away from computer science, and same HBS has started following the same pattern. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Just one more question. So, is there a list of consolidated list of all the out of catchment grammar schools which allow out of catchment people? I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah, Priyanka. So there is a we published that list recently on our Facebook group as well. But happy to share the list again if you can please DM us. So
sure.
that will
Thank
be we will do that. Next in line is Gokul. Do you want to share your question, please?
Hi, this is Gokul. We live in Farnborough, Hampshire. We are outside catchment area. We are aiming, but the problem I'm facing is my council, Hampshire, is allowing only three options in the list. But we have been shortlisted for HBS, Sutton, Slough, and Kent as well. So we need five options like that. So is there a way to achieve that? When I spoke with council, they said you can make only three options, but after that you can make a late application to include other schools, but that will be treated after the national allocation day.
Uh, yeah, that's unfortunately a problem with couple of councils, Gokul. Couple of parents also raised it in past, and again because it is mandatory to fill the CAF in your local council, so you don't have any other option other than going with the three choices which your council is providing, and then do the late application for another two.
So
That's
whether the late
yeah.
applications will be treated as waiting list only, they will not be allocated places.
Correct. So that will be treated as any second or any second CAF or second late application will always be considered as the waiting list applications. So if there are no places in the preferred schools which you are going ahead to put in the late applications, so they will be basically you will be in the waiting list until unless the seat is allocated to you.
So in this case, we have a HBS and Sutton outside catchment area, and Slough. The results are so different this year, so we don't know how to take the decision in this case.
Uh, so the best thing we will advise you, Gokul, is do your analysis based on the existing three top schools which you want to target, and keep one school as a guaranteed place, either comprehensive or grammar, whatever.
Yeah, Kent, we are treating as Tunbridge as a guaranteed place. She has scored good marks there, so we think we will get outside catchment there.
Yes. So if it is like this, then definitely I think it worth going like that. You can't change it, unfortunately. Sorry. You can only fill three.
No, that's what. So in that case, we can put, if we want to add waiting list basically for Sutton and any other school, we can still fill the late application. So we will
Yeah,
be in the waiting list.
correct.
In
Sorry,
this,
we need to take other
yeah,
parents' question
cheers.
as
Thanks.
well. Thank you. Himanshu, you were saying something, sorry, and somebody muted you. The negative part of the computer science being eliminated from HPS and QE.
Yeah. So they started this trend very recently, but they have been adding new languages in the curriculum. Specifically, they're putting a lot of focus on Latin because kind of it supposedly helps like with like medicine and for other further studies. But that said, computer science, like a lot of kids do. So, for example, my daughter is very much interested in robotics, and she does a lot of programming herself, and they have like Oxford competition as well around programming, and they do something called as Bebras, which is another like a programming Olympiad. So these kids are like pretty much still involved, although they are like removed. So HBS, for example, is like known for its robotics team, and they go to like US and all to do these competitions, and that's where like it involves all like coding, and they get involved in this MLAI stuff. So a lot of things are around. So just wanted to add that I did start with a negative point and got muted, so it wasn't fair. So just wanted to complete it that way. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Manshu. I think it's Priyanka, it's more specific to go with the specialization of individual stream in the computer science field, not like being taught as a generic. Because when we were in graduation, we were doing computer science as a kind of like whole, and there were so many streams we were not specialized in. So HBS, QE, they are putting more focus on the specialization of individual streams there. Hope it might